Python arrays. So this is lesson 16 and arrays. So Python does not have a built-in support for arrays, but Python lists can be used instead. Note, in this page shows you how to use lists as arrays. So actually we already have a chapter for that, so this is just a review of lists. However, to work arrays in Python, you will have to import a library like the NumPy library. So we will be discussing more of NumPy library in maybe later chapters. So arrays are used to store multiple values in one single variable. So to create an array containing car names, so in this case we're actually using a list. So remember that we're going to use lists as arrays. So cars is equal to Ford, Volvo, and BMW. So print cars, we have Ford, Volvo, and BMW. What is an array? An array is a special variable which can hold more than one value at a time. If you have a list of items, so a list of car names for example, storing the cars in single variables would look like this. So car 1 equals Ford, car 2 equals Volvo, car 3 equals BMW. However, what if you want to loop through the cars and find a specific one? And what if you have not 3 cars but 300? So the solution is to use an array. An array can hold many values under a single name, and you can access the values by referring to the index number. Access the elements of an array. So you refer to an array element by referring to the index number. So in this case, we have get the value of the first array item. So we have cars equals Ford, Volvo, BMW. So we have x is equal to cars 0. So remember that the index of the first item is 0. So if we print x, this will print Ford. Here, modify the value of the first array item. So cars equals Ford, Volvo, and then BMW. Car 0 equals Toyota. So if we print cars, so you notice that Ford here was replaced by Toyota. The length of an array. So use the length function. So the length function is a method to return the length of an array, the number of elements in an array. So return the number of elements in the cars array. So cars is equal to Ford, Volvo, BMW. X equals length of cars. So if you print x, this will print 3. That's the length of the array. So the length of the array is always 1 more than the highest array index. So the indexes are 0, 1, 2. And of course, the length of the array is 3. Looping array elements. You can use the for in loop to loop through all the elements of an array. So print each item in the cars array. So cars is equal to Ford, Volvo, BMW. For x in cars, print x. So this will print the items which will be placed in the variable x of the list cars. Adding array elements. So you can use the append method to add an element to an array. So add one more element to the cars array. So cars is equal to Ford, Volvo, BMW. Cars that append Honda. If you print cars, so the output now will be Ford, Volvo, BMW, and then Honda. So Honda was added to our array. Removing array elements. You can use the pop method to remove an array element from the array. So example, if you delete the second element of the cars array, so if you want to delete Volvo here, so cars that pop 1. Why 1? That is the index of Volvo. So we specify the index. So print cars, we have Ford and then BMW. You can also use the remove method to remove an element from an array. So delete the element that has the value Volvo. So if we delete, we use the name itself. So cars equals Ford, Volvo, BMW. So cars that remove Volvo. Then we print cars, we have Ford and then BMW. So that ends our lesson for arrays. So actually, as I have mentioned earlier, arrays is actually, for the meantime, we use a list rather than the array coming from the NumPy module. Thank you very much for viewing this video. Python arrays.